All right, welcome everybody to episode 4 of the Tilt Proof Podcast. My name is Darth Whoopass.
I'm FatxShack.
And today we are going to cover the state of the gaming industry and kind of where it's headed, what's going on in like esports leagues and single player campaigns, what's happening with broken games and all that good stuff. But we've got a couple of news stories to cover first, but I think we got a special shout out from Shaq. Go ahead and take it away, Shaq.
Special shout out to my cousin Nathan Cavett. He is the owner of Mad Standards, and if y'all notice, we have a new logo, and he made it. The link is to his website. It's going to be down below. If y'all need any graphic design, anything for any business, go hit him up. He'll take care of you.
Check him out. I really like the new logo. It's pretty damn sick.
Oh yeah.
So support those who are supporting us right now. I appreciate the new logo. It's fucking awesome. All right, so first story we're going to cover today. Everybody's favorite Overwatch pro and streamer XQC is back in the news for making some homophobic remarks against Mumma, who is the Houston Outlaws main tank player. So basically, after the Houston Outlaws beat Dallas, Dallas has been having a rough season. They've lost every game thus far in Overwatch League. But after the Outlaws beat Dallas, like in-state rivalry, they were interviewing Mumma. It was either right after or like the next day or something. But Mumma basically said that the Houston Outlaws rolled and smoked the Dallas Fuel, which is XQC's team. And the following day on XQC's stream, he basically was asked about it in chat and was talking about it and basically said it was fucked up. And if he would have stopped there, it would have been perfectly fine. But he carried on. He said, "You didn't smoke shit. Shut your fucking mouth. Go back there. Suck a fat cock. I mean, you would like it." And that's where it went a step too far. So as a result of that, the Dallas Fuel basically suspended Felix for one game, or XQC for one game. And as it kind of carried on, like after that, he apologized to Mumma. Mumma, talked back to him, and they were evidently cool. But later on that next day, about 9:50, the Overwatch League website has said that they had suspended XQC for a total of 4 matches and a fine of $2,000. And then later on, Dallas re-upped and said that they are going to completely suspend XQC for stage 1. So the first part of the season, they're going to suspend one of their main tank players, one of their main tank stars, huge on Twitch and everything. So what do you think about the whole situation here, Shaq? What are your thoughts on this?
Man, you gotta watch what you say nowadays, especially joking or not. Especially as a player for a team. Doesn't matter if it's video games or not. You got to look at it. What if somebody in the NFL said that? They would have so many fines, be suspended for so many games. It's the same thing. Doesn't matter, especially in the gaming community where it's probably the most diverse community ever. Like, you got to really watch out.
Yeah, I agree with you, man. Like Mumma, and XQC, like if you've ever watched his streams, like he has no filter. And I'm not trying to take up for what he said by any means, but the fact that one, he's representing a brand. Like if it was just shit talking like in a match or like off stream, off screen, like it wouldn't have been a deal. But the fact that Mumma is like the only openly gay player in the Overwatch League, and the fact that XQC came in, and I don't think it would have been an issue at all if he said he can go suck a dick. I really don't. But the fact that he had to add on that little burn at the end is what really got him in trouble. And he's got to realize he's representing he's a professional now, like legitimate professional. There are like 400,000 people at a time watching the Overwatch League. He's representing Blizzard. He's representing his owner, all their sponsors. And when there's that much money involved, you're bound to get your ass burnt when you start acting like that. And he's feeling the wrath of it.
Exactly. Yeah, like, I think it's no, like, if you've ever played games with me or watched my stream, there's no filter on me, and I don't really care what anybody ever says. But the point of like we're talking about being a pro, man. You have to watch out. But like you said, representing somebody that's higher than you, you're not the Dallas. You're not Dallas. You know, again, you're the whole team.
Right.
What you
He
say
makes everybody
represents
look
everybody.
bad. Like, and it's just like any other sports team. Like somebody in the NFL would have said that, NBA would have said that, they would have got their ass burnt up.
He'd be on
And
ESPN for a year.
yeah, and the fact that and XQC, this is coming off of him getting like burnt for his toxic behavior. Like he got like a 1 day or 2 day ban from actually playing Overwatch a month or two ago because he was false reporting people. Like he got into a game with a Symmetra main and literally just went, there's the drop down menu, like you can report offenses like for abusive chat or griefing or whatever it is. And he literally reported that Symmetra main for every single offense on the list in that one game and just sent it off. And like he's got in trouble for doing things like that and not representing Blizzard well. I mean, that's like a basketball or a football player going to a pickup game and just like pushing kids down. Like that's, and so he's got this history of not being the most well-mannered, let's say, Overwatch person. Like he seems to have a pretty toxic personality, and like I said, I think that's just part of who he is. I don't think he's a bad person or like is trying to push like homophobic stereotypes. I just think that he's a young kid and running off at the mouth, and he's got to think about what he's saying. He's got to do better.
Yeah, I mean, hey, every action has a consequence. So
yeah, and with all the money that got dumped into Overwatch League, like I don't know if have you watched any of it, Shaq?
I have a little bit, not much. I've been a little bit busy, but
like
it seems like it's blowing up.
Well, I mean, yeah, there are a ton of people watching it. People have their teams just like they have a sports team. They've got their home team or whoever they want to pull for, and I mean the production value is fucking amazing. Like it's really you can tell that there's a lot of money, a lot of people are behind this, and they want to see their investments returned. Like they're not just doing it out of the goodness of their damn heart. And anytime that you have somebody like XQC coming out and doing things like this, it just tarnishes the brand. Whether he was meaning it to be hurtful or like homophobic or whatever. Like I can't speak to his intentions, but like when you're reflecting poorly on Blizzard and the Overwatch League as a whole, you hit people in the wallets, they're gonna hit you back, and that's what happens.
For sure. I didn't realize that. We talked about it a little bit before, but I didn't realize that they had already made up. I wonder if that.
Yeah, and so it was. That's part of, and I don't want to say that Blizzard or Dallas overstepped after it, but he basically got suspended by Dallas for a game over his comments. They made up on Twitter, and then Blizzard hit him with the 4-game suspension, $2,000 fine, and then Dallas came back and hit him with the stage 1 ban or suspension. So it seems like they were they were on good terms afterwards. I'm sure all those guys know each other and they've played with each other. So like I said, I don't think that there was a ton of animosity there, and they had already made up by the time that Blizzard and Dallas had come around the second time. But I don't know, the thing that I have the problem with, I think XQC should have got burnt, no question. He should have got hit. But I think the fact that his teams made a call, Blizzard made a call, and then his team came back around and was like, you know what, we're gonna fuck you again, and hit him with another suspension. I think he made it a step too far. I'm sure they got pressured by Blizzard and investors, like the team owner and stuff like that, to make sure that XQC learned from his mistakes. But I think getting punished twice for it, by your own team, is pretty fucking rough. That sucks.
Yeah, it does. I was just thinking about that. Just that's one thing I do hate about this world, man. You get a little heated, you say the wrong thing. Yeah, you should have some consequences, but then at the end of the day, you keep getting they made up, like guys do. They made up, and then boom, hit again. It's damn, man.
Yeah, I mean,
I get it. I get it.
Yeah, I completely understand. And it's not the first time I'm sure that anybody in gaming has heard, go suck a dick. 'Cause, I mean, that's something that it happens all the time. I just think that one step further is what burned him, and then, like I said, the fact that he gets punished twice by his team, that I think that's a step too far. But hopefully he'll learn from the mistake and be a better person because of it.
I would $2,000 out of my pocket.
Dude, hit him where it hurts, right in
yeah,
the wallet
for sure. All right, guys. Well, we got big news from Sony this week. PS5 is confirmed that it could be coming out in 2018. There's been rumor about it, but it's kind of crazy because the rumors haven't been going on that long, to be honest. And then boom, here it is. And honestly, it's probably just because Xbox is coming out with their Xbox One X. That's what it's called, correct?
The Xbox One S, I think.
Oh, S. Okay.
It's the One S I think it's the One S. I'm not an Xbone fan, so I don't know that much about it. But yeah,
I don't. Yeah, I really don't either. But I do know both of these companies are making them so it's compatible with 4K TV and stuff like that. But what I'm a little indifferent about it. And one thing I am excited about, if I'm ever able to afford one, is that the FPS isn't going to be 30. It's going to be a higher FPS. And that's one thing that has set console away from PC. The biggest is the FPS, I believe. And the speed of the games. But Darth, what do you think? Do you think it's a little early for the PS5 to be coming out? Or, how do you feel about it?
I mean, I think it is a wee bit early because the PS4's been out for like going on 4 years now, and I still enjoy my PS4. I do think that I bought it within the first year of it coming out, and I do feel like games are starting to be developed that are outside of its capability to run. I know Call of Duty, it sounds like a goddamn turbojet. Like when I crank up Call of Duty, and so I don't know if they're making this out of necessity, like if their games are just developing so quickly, or they're trying to keep up with PC, with all the the huge like GPUs and RAM and shit that's coming out right now. I don't know if they're trying to keep up with that, and so they're rushing this development through, or what it is. Sony. That being said, Sony has treated me really fucking well. Like I had 2 Xbox 360s, both of them red ring within a year. And so I said, fuck it, going with a PS3. And I still have my PS3, runs great. Bought a PS4, it runs great after 3 years. So I'm a Sony fanboy. I'm probably going to buy a PS5 when it comes out. God willing and the creek don't rise. If I've got money in my pocket, I'm going to buy it. But is it too soon? Maybe. But if it gives me better games, 60 frames, 144 hertz, like whatever they're promising, then I'm for it. I think that it's only going to help the industry if they do that. Now, my one concern is, and I've heard a few people talk about this, is like consoles, may or may not be dying out just because everybody's starting to lean towards PC, PC Master Race, all that shit. It may not be within the next gen console, whatever Xbox comes out with, PS5. But I honestly think that they're gonna have to start making consoles with like interchangeable RAM and parts in it, so you can upgrade it like you can a PC. Now, I know that goes against their business model as far as releasing every 5 or 6 years, releasing a new console generation. But have they said anything about the specs, or if you'll be able to do that outside of like the up in the frame rate and performance of it?
It seemed like it was just like a base set. Again, like this is where my knowledge lacks, is like the new 4K, like with the TVs and stuff. And what I'm really hoping is like, are we going to have to buy, or what I'm really not hoping is that we have to buy a 4K TV to make it run at its, prime time.
Right.
But no, what I read, I could not find the article again, like I said, that I found at the beginning, but it seemed like it was just, again, like a base set. It was saying, compatible with the 4K TV, 140 FPS, whatever it was. I mean, like I really do hope though that it's not jank, because I feel like I just don't want it rushed. I don't
I'm the
want it
same way.
rushed.
Like I said, I've been super happy with the Sony products I've bought, the consoles I've bought. Um, I'm like you. I'm hoping that what they put out is going to be a good finished product, and it's not just a money grab. So far, so good. Like I said, they haven't burnt me yet.
Mm-hmm.
Like I mean, I've had every PlayStation. I've had PS1, PS2, PS3, PS4. Been happy with all of those, and I trust Sony. I just don't know if they're rushing it out or what the need is, because I don't see a need for it right now, honestly. But maybe they've got some things in store for us that'll surprise us. We'll have to wait to see some more information on it before I can make a final call.
Yeah, what do you think you'll do with your PS4? You keep it?
Yeah, I mean, I don't see why not. Like, so one thing, I'm glad you said that, because it made me think of one issue that I had with the PS3 PS4 transition. Sony, please listen to my cries. Listen to the community. Make games backwards compatible. If you release a PS5, I am so disappointed that PS3 games do not play on my PS4, and it's bullshit. We have the technology. We can rebuild it. Like, you can let us play previous gen games on our new gen console, because PS3 was Blu-ray too. Like, I don't understand like where the fucking disconnect was. I mean, I think what they wanted to do was just sell remasters and like digital copies of PS3 games on your PS4. So I think it's a money grab more than anything. But I bought the game. Let me fucking play it, man. Like, please make it cross compatible if you release this console this year.
Yeah, there's games still in their. I mean, Overwatch on PS4 is still huge, and I hope like it doesn't come out to where, well, now I'm a PS5 player. Like, I hope I can just.
Yeah, where you can't play with your PS4 buddies.
Yeah. Like,
that would suck.
New. Dude, if I have to create another fucking profile, I'm going to scream.
If I have to create another profile, and if I have to buy another copy of it, like, I'm cool with buying PS4 and PC. I'm a little bit cool with that, because it's different platforms. Still, I bought the fucking game. Yeah. Give it to me on everything that I own. But yeah, if you had to like buy another copy of the game, grind another character up to get to that. No, what I'm hoping they'll do in cases like that is, you may not have. I mean, in a perfect world, you could just upload your profile. Like, you just go straight up, it give you all your skins, all your shit. It'll just transfer directly over. But do like what Destiny 2 did, and give you, like, basically have a character that you import in. Like, it'll import shit from your previous file. Give me a character at 25 so I can play comp, rather than
I don't want to lose my skins
up.
Either. I mean, I almost have every legendary skin. Like, not every legendary skin, but on PS4 at least, I like almost every character has a legendary skin.
Right.
And that shit's kind of money. Please do not.
Yeah, please don't take that away. And like, I know it. I'm not doing my job if I don't break up Dark Souls in every podcast that we have. So, like, I was so disappointed when I couldn't play, like, I couldn't take my Dark Souls 1 disc and play it in my PlayStation 4. Like, I was so upset, because like, I fucking love that game. And the fact that I'd have to have 2 consoles hooked up, or, I know people out there are just like, just get a fucking PC, you noob. But I was disappointed that I couldn't do that. And I mean, there are other games on PS3, Demon's. Okay, that's not a good example because it's just another Souls game. Demon's Souls, like, I wanted to be able to play that, but I mean, you get where I'm coming from. Like, it should be able to be backwards compatible. The technology's there. Why the fuck not? Like, let me have my games. If you come out with a new console, let me have my games backwards compatible so I can play everything from my fucking library on this new system.
Yeah, like, what I'm hoping, and I know we're throwing a bone, but I feel like if they are going to come out with it this quick, because it really doesn't seem like I've had this PS4 that long.
It's quick, man, because I think PS3, it said, was out for 7 years before they came out with the PS4, and this has only been out for coming on 4 now.
Yeah, and what I was gonna say is, I hope, like, since it is this soon, like, we are able to do everything that we just talked about.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, I'm still on the ground of PS4 Overwatch. Please let me just move it over.
Yeah, I mean, if you can give me better frame rates and shit on a console, I'll take it. But don't fuck with my character. Like, let me keep my info. Let me bring things over. And I know that's Overwatch specific, but it should apply to every game. Like, let me transfer my files in. Or just like save it on like PlayStation Network. Like, everything's saved in the fucking cloud as it is now.
Yeah.
So I mean, you might as well. Like, don't bonus Sony. Don't fuck me, please.
Rocket League's another good one. There's a lot of players out there that have that trade and do all that stuff on Rocket League PS4. So hopefully they don't get screwed over either.
I'm hoping not, man. I'm hoping not. So, with that being said, guys, our deep dive today, and this is going to be, I don't want to say it's going to be different than the other ones, but we're going to be, I guess a lot more of it's going to come from our opinion and kind of speculation than it has in the past, where we're covering kind of stories. But today we kind of want to talk about the state of the gaming industry and the gaming community as a whole. So kind of what inspired this is my buddy Kenny. Shout out to Kenny. Thanks for talking with me, man. Gave me this idea. We were just kind of spitballing, and he was listening to our last podcast and just kind of spitballing ideas and what he'd like to hear. And he just was talking about what's happened to the gaming industry and like how is it doing? Like, it seems like it's more prevalent now than it has been in the past. And so from there we kind of started spitballing ideas on where it's headed, what's going on. And the first thing that came to my mind, I know that we brought this up, and it kind of ties into last week's podcast because Star Wars and shit. But the fact that people are releasing broken ass, loot boxed ass, like shitty games, is I think it's really starting to hurt the industry. Like, I mean, we've got Overwatch League out now. We've got Dota 2's fucking huge in the esports scene. We've got all of these gaming YouTube channels. We've got Twitch is blowing up. Amazon bought it. We've got huge Twitch streamers, a lot of revenue coming in there. And if you look at it from that perspective, the gaming industry is doing great. If you look at it from the developer side, like, I don't know what the fuck's going on, man. Like, all these day one patches, like all the technology that we have now to update and patch and make games better, it seems like developers are leaning on this as a crutch to release shitty ass broken games. Like, Star Wars Battlefront, buggy as shit. Assassin's Creed 3, buggy as shit. PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds, buggy as shit. Like, these people,
buggiest game ever played in my life.
It's like, and that was after a fucking early access of a year for PUBG. I know they swapped, like, they ported it to console, but
dude,
these buggy games are coming out, and I think Assassin's Creed 3 is the one that, like, I mean, this has been going on a while. Like, I've been looking up articles on this shit, and I've seen articles dating back to like 2014 talking about like how people are releasing these buggy ass fucking games that they're just trying to patch on day one. And here we are, 2018, and it's not getting any better, man. Like, used to, you released a game, it had to be complete. Like, you weren't sending out patches on day one and update files and shit like that. And I think that is the fact that you can update and fix bugs that you may have, overlooked, or like updating maps. Like, Fortnite just, dropped that huge update on their map. It's fucking great, man. Like, you send out patches to add new content. Like, I think it's great. But right now, it seems like it's just being used as a crutch to rush games out and send out shitty fucking content. And I think that it's really, really hurting the industry. And I think that it's really, you're alienating the people who buy your products. Like, gamers are tired of this shit, man. What do you think about it, Shaq?
I honestly had this conversation with a good group of friends the other day, and I'm pretty sure these are my exact words. Every fucking game is broken. Thank you, Jeff Kaplan.
Jeff does I will say this: Overwatch, while you don't have balance issues, their game runs fucking amazing. Like, it runs really good.
It does.
I know we always blame Jeff.
That's the joke. It's Jeff's fault. No matter
Jeff.
how, every game he didn't even like. Jeff sits in his office and looks on my group of friends and the Sudo gaming community and says, "Oh, they're doing good. Flip that switch over there." No,
Star Wars Battlefront broken. Fuck you,
Yeah,
Jeff.
fuck you, Jeff. Yeah. Can't get into Destiny 2 the first night.
Yeah.
Jeff, go to bed.
Damn, that actually has something to do with them because they have it on BattleNet, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it did actually.
It's Jeff's fault. Damn it.
I forgot. Yeah. No, but it's coming. The first part of my statement is almost true. Player unknown. And I know that I'll give him this. That game is huge. Like, the map is huge. There's a lot going on. There's multiple people in the game. You know, there's a lot of random number generation going on. But it's still frustrating. It's frustrating that all these games are laggy or rubber banding, or they, like you said, just throw them in there. Call of Duty, I swear to God, has an update almost every time I log in.
Well, it was busted night one for me. Like, I couldn't play multiplayer until like a day because I wanted to play it at midnight or stream it at midnight. Like, I loaded up, was like, all right, let's go fucking pawn some noobs. And I was like, oh, sorry, can't access game servers. And you had to download a patch to begin with. Like, it took an hour to download the patch.
And that's the only reason anybody even bought the game.
Yeah, multiplayers. I mean that's the biggest part of that game. We're going to touch on that a little bit later, but yeah, like the headquarters, like the social space for Call of Duty World War II, it didn't work for like a month. Like, you know, you're supposed to load in like you do in Destiny, which also had a buggy ass launch where you couldn't access servers and shit like that. Like the social space called headquarters, like you couldn't get into it for, I think it was over a month, man. Like, you're supposed to load in and be able to run around with your fucking troops, and you weren't able to do it, man. It was fucking bullshit. Give me a game, like ship me a complete game. Like, I'm fine if, you know, one corner of one map, you throw a grenade, hit left, right, up, down, and you get thrown through a wall and like out into fucking outer space. I understand bugs happen. Like, that's fine. Like, patch that shit when you find out about it. When you only have so many playtesters to find bugs. But when it's just like, you know, the rubber banding issue with PUBG, or like the headquarters not working with Call of Duty, you know, Assassin's Creed 3 being absolute garbage and playing like shit when I got it. Star Wars Battlefront 2, like the frame rate just dipping into the fucking like Death Valley. Send me a good game. Like, and that's after they patch it day one too. Like, they send out a patch. I understand you only have so many playtesters, but shit, man, like, we're paying $60. Send us a finished game.
Yeah, like the people, like, I'm going to stick to the PUBG part just because, like, I've been playing that a lot lately.
Yeah.
And just, it's not so much even the lag anymore, but it's like, who have anybody there at Bluehole shot a fucking shotgun? I don't think, like, the shotguns are broken. There's, like, I thank God they put a death cam in, because then you can start seeing, like, what's going on. And there'll be times where I'll be shooting a guy and I'll see the blood coming up. All right. And then I'm dead. And I'm like, well, damn. And I look at it. It did not even register. What is going on? And PUBG's only 30. But why is it taking this long to fix games? And why are we just throwing it out?
Yeah, and
for people to play and just to get mad. And it sucks because we're still going to play it.
Yeah, I mean,
because it's a fun type game, but it's getting old.
So let's take an example of what's been done bad there. Like, so PUBG, I'm 100% okay with being buggy as shit, you know, to begin with, because it was in early access. They're like, here's the game we're working on. You guys come fucking play it. Let us know how it's going. And then we'll release it, you know, a year down the line. And then, like, I think that's a very, very good way to have game development, because you have millions of people playing the game. They can report bugs. They can tell you what's going on. You can fix it. You can put out a finished game. And then they decide to release it on Xbox One, and it is garbage. Like, rubber banding all over the place. It's not optimized. Like, I know you're porting it over to console, but why the fuck are you going to release this game if it's not finished, man? Like, it's obviously not optimized. Like, who approved that?
That's what I'm saying. That's kind of where I was rambling and wanting to get my words out. Yeah, who did y'all hire to play this game? Like, there's no way he had fun playing this game.
No, not, and I'm not speaking from experience. Like, I've watched people play PUBG. I've watched you play it, watched Doc play it. Welcome back, Doc. Looking forward to your return. But like it looks like a fun game, and it runs way better on PC than what I've seen, footage on, Xbox One. But like, how do you make a port after it's been in early access for so fucking long, and it comes out that, just terribly optimized? Like, it's a money grab. They're like, oh, this is doing great on PC. Let's just get everybody's money on console too, from Xbox. Let's grab all their money, because they released it right before Christmas. I mean, that's exactly what it was.
Mm-hmm.
They were just like, it's Christmas season. Let's get all these 12-year-olds money, like their parents buying them games. And I mean, that's all it was a money grab. And I have no problems with people trying to make money, but I'm paying for a product. You better fucking deliver, because all you're doing is pissing off the gaming community, and like we're not ones to be fucked with.
I know. I think this is. I think we've only had one episode that we said don't fuck with the nerd community.
Yeah.
But here's a good game, and Fortnite to me has not had a problem yet.
I'm glad you said that, because I was thinking about that earlier when you were talking about PUBG. Like, Fortnite, and I honestly don't know how they're making money. It's got to be from like their cosmetics that they're selling. Yeah. But you release a polished game of that, like, in that same battle royale style, it's unique. It's got a unique art style. It's super, super tight. It feels really good. Like, it's got personality with like all the cartoony shit and all the off the wall stuff. You make it different from PUBG. Like, that's how, and it's free. Like, how
free?
Like,
yeah.
Like, you don't have to pay $30. Like, I know that it's a way to get people in to play like their PvE content, and they're still making money off of the cosmetics and shit. But you tell me why PUBG, that's been in early access for a year, and you have to pay $30 to get, is as broken and busted as it is, and Fortnite is absolutely free and is like, I mean, I get my ass. I suck at Fortnite, but it is such a polished and good game. Like, it's not buggy at all, man. Like, it's great, and they update it. They sent a patch out. It was this week, wasn't it? Like, where they just added a bunch of new towns. They've been patching it constantly since it came out, and like, I don't understand, man. Like, except for, I feel like Epic Games, like, the guys who make Fortnite, are doing it. I mean, of course they want to make money. This is all about money. But they're creating a game that they love and they care about and they want to play, and it's for the community, and they also make money on. Like, that's the way it should be. Like, I mean, you can't put out broken product. I mean, no matter what business you're in, you can't keep putting out broken products and expect people to keep buying it and think that it's okay, because if there's something the gamers know how to do, it's how to use the fucking internet. And you're gonna get burnt, man. You're gonna get burnt. We're only gonna take like Destiny 2, like Destiny 1, as well. Like, those games were not necessarily broken, but they had a lot of things that were promised, like content wise, that were supposed to come through in patches that never got put through. You've got Battlefront 2 that's buggy as shit. You've got a lot of game, Call of Duty, which I enjoy playing Call of Duty, man. Like, it was buggy as shit when it came out, and like, I'm worried for the future of the gaming industry if developers keep doing this shit, that it's gonna crash. I think that it's too big right now to really go. Like I said, you've got all these esports leagues. You've got Twitch, which Amazon's involved with. I think, and there's a huge YouTube gaming community. You've got Beam that's also on it. But it can do nothing but hurt the industry. And it's done nothing but climb, from not its inception, because I'm about to bring up another point, but it's done nothing but climb since I've been alive, man. Like, video games have been more in the mainstream. You're making more money. Games have been getting better, and it's sad to see, man. Something that I love so much that people are just releasing broken ass games to get money.
Yeah, and I think a huge problem that we're having is like a game comes out popular, and so the next guy wants to make it, and then they just throw it out there real quick because they want to compete. Fortnite, that is probably the first time that I've seen it. Just paying attention to the gaming industry is the first time like somebody threw a game out there to compete and is whooping everybody's ass. Because like PUBG, it came out early release, whatever. If there was even like a little alpha or whatever, and it's been out for like a year and a half, however long. And Fortnite came out September?
Yeah, around that time, September, October.
And they are sometimes they're the number one game played on Twitch.
Yeah, no, and it's great. And like I know, so Fortnite's biggest criticism is that it's not original. Because H1Z1 was we go even back before that. Arma 3 was like the original battle royale. And then H1Z1, King of the Kill, like came in, that got super popular, and that mod, King of the Kill, was made from Brendan Schaub, I think's his name. It's Player Unknown is his name. Like he made the original mod and then decided to break off, make PUBG. And I think that's fucking awesome. Like you find something that works, you made a mod, make this game better, make your own game. That's great. And then, buggy as it may be, it's very popular and it did well. But Fortnite comes in and like changes enough, does it well enough, offers it for free, and it's not a broken game. Like why would you not play that game? Fortnite is the perfect example of what the gaming industry should be doing. PUBG, I know we're picking on PUBG a lot, but PUBG, Star Wars Battlefront, like those are games that, have not done it right. Like they've sent out broken games, busted games. Ubisoft is notorious for doing this shit, man. And like, I don't want to see, this turn into, and I think I've sent you this link, but I don't want to see this turn into like the whole ET situation from way back in the day, where one game like nearly bankrupted the industry. If you guys are not familiar, and I'll Shaq, if you can remember to link this in the comments below or in the description. So if you guys don't know like the whole controversy about the ET video game, basically what it was, when the movie was getting ready to release or had released, Atari was up and coming. Video games were becoming just bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. It was 1982, and Atari started negotiations to secure the rights in like 1982, and they finally secured rights to make an ET video game, July 1982, and that gave the developers 5.5 weeks to complete a video game for the Christmas season, which is fucking bananas. And like ET was such a huge, like as far as movies go, fucking huge. But what ended up happening was that in 5.5 weeks they rushed this game out. And this is like when, like I said, gaming was, on the rise. The Atari was fucking huge. And they put out this game. All these kids, all these parents bought this video game thinking that it was going to be the next big thing in gaming. Something they loved in the movie E.T. And it was going to put gaming like in the mainstream. Like this was a huge opportunity for gaming. But they rushed it out. And Atari, like the Atari 2600 ET game, almost caused the collapse of the gaming industry. Like they were like gaming sales after this fucking plummeted. They ended up burying like millions of cartridges actually in the New Mexico landfill after this all happened. And I know that's a little bit of a tangent. Like there's a very good documentary on on the ET like video game and like its effect on the gaming industry. And I don't think that anything will ever, will rival that, like that effect where it just fucking tanks the video game industry. But like I don't want that to happen to something I fucking love. Like let's see, so here's what I was looking for. On December 7th, 1982, after the game was released, Kassar announced that Atari's revenue forecast for 1982 were cut in half from 1981. That's the effect. Like think of like if Blizzard, like just because we've been talking about Overwatch, if Blizzard's stock value, if their revenue forecasts were cut in half because of one game. Like, that's
Wow.
fucking bananas. And that's what, let's see, the company lost $1.3 billion in market valuation in 1982. Like, that's a shit ton of money back then. It's a shit ton of money now. But think about like what would happen back in the day. And it almost it almost bankrupted the industry. And like I said, it came to the point that there were so many leftover copies, they just dumped it in a landfill and buried it. But I hope that is not like that's not what we're going to see again. I hope the burial of that game is not going to be the burial of the gaming industry now with all these broken games being released. I'd hate for something that I love so much to get fucked over in that way because people are greedy. Like, it sucks, man. It's I don't think it'll ever happen, but yeah, you never know. Never know.
That's crazy. That's a crazy story.
Yeah, you need to check out the Wikipedia page. Like, it's fucking nuts, man. Like, I love the story about it because it's so fucking ridiculous. Like, I don't want that to happen because we're sending out broken games.
One thing that I was going to ask you: are you a fan of Ubisoft?
No, I was.
I can't. I don't think I can stand them, dude, because they. After just thinking about it, you have Assassin's Creed, right?
Right.
All right, great game. First 2 games, great. And then they have Far Cry. First 3 games, great. 4, I enjoyed 4. But then, like, you go to all these other games, they're like exactly the same, just a different background.
No, I agree with you. I think that they're rushing them out. And I don't know if it was Assassin's Creed or Call of Duty that kind of started this shit where they have just annual releases.
It's probably both. It was probably more of Call of Duty because what they were doing is they were switching companies. Like 4 wasn't made by 5.
Yeah.
And then
but like Assassin's Creed did the same shit where you have a new game every year. It's like you don't have time to innovate really. You don't have time to like introduce new game mechanics. You don't have time to change things up or see like how your original game really played out, what was good about it, what was bad about it. And so you're releasing these like just carbon copies of each other. And like I said, Ubisoft, the first 3 Assassin's Creed, so like AC1, AC2, Assassin's Creed Origins, like those 3, and I mean even Brotherhood was really good. But like you just get into this repetition of where you're constantly just every year you drop a new one, like fucking the Assassins go kill people in this historic city, and oh no, the Templars, and we kill them. The Assassins reign supreme. Yeah.
Oh,
like that's the story.
Jump into a haystack. Like, it's just
haystacks.
It's boring.
Eagles. Like badass parkour. Like that's Assassin's Creed games. And like it was great for the first couple times you see that, but when you start just, keep repeating that same formula, like you've got to innovate a little bit. Like I understand trying to cash in on that, but you can't just keep doing that shit.
Like what's crazy is like so Dark Souls does it right. Like it makes the game harder each time you go through it, right?
Right.
What is it called?
So you've got NG like Plus, the New Game Plus, and
New Game Plus. There we go. But like, I'll go back to Far Cry 4. I enjoyed the game. I really did. But after a while, it was just a new base. Same thing. Don't get caught. Kill this guy. I ended up killing all 3 like the little characters, and I tried to go play it again, and I was just like, this is so fucking boring. Like, there's got to be like, I want a game that makes me want to come back and play it over.
Yeah,
not a competitive game, just a game where it's fun to play and not just. It's annoying.
And I think that we're seeing, and like this is moving on into something else that we were going to talk about, where like we want a single player game that has replayability. Like I remember back in the day playing like Super Mario Brothers never got fucking old. Like that shit was great. Like no matter how many times I beat it, like there was always a challenge there. And I think difficulty is something to do with, like you said, New Game Plus, Dark Souls. A lot of the Dark Souls games, well, specifically Dark Souls 2, like it introduces new items, like upgraded items and like new enemies in new game cycles. So like you'll walk into an area where there was previously nothing, and somebody will like show up, like an enemy will spawn and just fuck you up. So like it changes it as you progress through. But like there's I'm worried in the industry that we're going away from these like extremely, and I don't even say we'll stay story driven, but these just very tight, polished single player games that we all grew up on, into nothing but broken multiplayer, like patch heavy, games that we're getting right now. And I think that a lot of that has to do with the speed of the internet right now, like how everything's connected by the internet, where you can patch things day one and you can play somebody halfway across the world. But the death of single player, like I just see, and honestly, up until this past year, I've seen nothing but the death of single player games. Like you get further and further away from games that are self-contained and their little bubble, that are just designed to be great, designed to be replayable, and you're getting into these just everything seems like it's turning into a shooter. And I love shooters, but like that seems the way that everything's going. And I want my old games too, man. Like I love shooters, but like give me Super Mario Brothers, give me something from the old days that I really like, Metroid, like Link to the Past, like Zelda games. I want something that's like that, and I think that there's just too much money to be made in multiplayer games, so people are not focusing on those single player experiences.
It's a business.
It is a business, and I understand. Like, you can't have an Overwatch League. You can't have what is it, the international, like Dota. Like, you can't have those kinds of events, those kind of money making with single player games, minus like AGDQ, but they raise charity. Like that's speedrun events. Like you can make a little bit of money there, but people are not going to tune in every time you hold a tournament, and like that. Most people donate to AGDQ because it's charity rather than like a business. But all those games come from the competitive or all that money, that revenue comes from the competitive nature of games, and so I think people are just focusing on trying to make money, and as they should, rather than these single player games, which I fell in love with. Like I said, until this past year. Now, this past year we've had Super Mario Odyssey, fucking great single player game. Zelda Breath of the Wild, fucking great. Had Hollow Knight, great. Horizon Zero Dawn, great. Like, so we've had a lot of good single player games that have come out in the past year that have kind of put my mind at ease. Have you kind of seen the same trend that I've seen in these games?
Yeah, like especially when I look at like games and how popular they are, I kind of turn to the Twitch community just because that's what I love to do, is stream and get people to come into my games to watch me. And if you look, every top tier channel, like game, if you haven't been to Twitch, it shows you how many views are just watched on a game, and it's always Overwatch, PUBG, Fortnite, League of Legends. I mean,
it's all these super hyper competitive multiplayer games.
Yeah, and then you scroll down, and honestly, the biggest single player game is the Dark Souls series. It'll be Dark Souls 3 or Bloodborne, and Mario's still up there, Mario Maker, and then some speed runs. But no other game, like a new game will come out, and they'll probably be in top 10, and within a week there's 1,000 people watching it, and that seems like a lot. 1,000 people, holy shit, that's watching it. But you got to think there was 400,000 people watching Tyler 1 when he came back. So 1,000 is nothing compared to how big like the Twitch community actually is.
Yeah,
and so it is dying, and it's sad just because I think competitive players and pro, semi-pro, whatever need time to just play a single player game, relax, not have to be competitive against other people.
Yeah. No, I 100% agree with you. I think that the reason that those single player games are not getting exposure is just like you said. Like it just doesn't bring in the viewers. Like you either have people like myself, like if there's a single player game that comes out that I'm gonna play, and like I'm going to experience, I'm not going to Twitch. Like I am trying to block myself from spoilers. I don't want to see it. And like, it's the reason I haven't watched Cuphead streams, because I think someday that I might play Cuphead, like, which I don't know if
Yeah.
I will at this point or not. Like I may or may not. But like, you have these people that steer away from these single player experiences as far as watching it. Like, and so, Twitch is not getting revenue, the streamers are not getting revenue. And then even if somebody is watching that, after you see the story for the first time, like, there's no reason to go back, really. So like I said, I love single player games. And I think that and I don't want to say Mario Maker is a single player game, because you have creators uploading these new levels. Like, it's constantly changing. So there's a multiplayer aspect to it. That you might not get. Like, it's an odd multiplayer aspect, but you have creators uploading levels for people to play. So there's basically one player sending their level to challenge another player. Like, it's still there's still a competitive thing there.
That's
but,
true. That's a better way of looking at it.
But the single player, unless you're doing something on, like I said, day one, or you're doing something like Lobos Jr. does, like, you're either like you're doing challenge runs or there's speed runs of single player games, you're not gonna. I mean, there's just not a lot of exposure to that. People are not watching it. There's not money to be made, and like, it's kind of sad. Like, it sucks, because I really enjoy those extremely, because I feel like single player games are a lot more personal than maybe multiplayer. But I miss those. Now, with that being said, I think that the appeal of multiplayer games, so, like I said, the Overwatches, the Call of Duties, the PUBGs, League of Legends, Dota, all of those games, like, the thing that keeps bringing people back in, one, competitive play, like taking your skills, pitting them against another person's skills, and seeing how you match up. Number two is going to be just the randomness of it. Like, no two games are the same. Like, if I play through a storyline of, say, Horizon Zero Dawn, yeah, it's open world, it's sandbox, whatever, but the experience is going to be relatively the same. Like, the main story is not going to change very much. You get into multiplayer games, then each individual match on each individual map is going to be different from the last one. I think that brings back people to watch the randomness of it, and then it also has people play it, like the players, the streamers, the consumers of that content. Like, that increases the replayability of it, because there's no two matches that are the same, no two games the same, no two shots that you're going to hit are going to be the same. Mm-hmm. Like, I mean, I see the appeal, and I love multiplayer games, but I think that we're still like, I'm sad to see the a focus go away from these single player experiences, because I enjoyed them so much growing up.
Before we move on to the loot box, I wanted to say one more thing about the broken games.
Okay.
I think a lot of times my problem is, because sometimes I'll even call Fortnite broken, and I want to say, like, if you ever come watch me play on Twitch or anything, like, I think a lot of times, Darth, I just wish, like, I could make the game the way I want it to, so I have, like, a better advantage. Like the fucking spam jumping shotgun, like,
yeah.
We kept saying it's broken, but really, I mean,
everybody has those tools.
Yeah.
But
I just wanted to say, like, if we really look deep into it, there are a few games that aren't broken, but the majority of them need work.
They need work, and again, like, I know that it's a money deal, and I understand where they're coming from, but do better, guys. That's all I'm asking. Just try a little bit. So I think that the broken game issue is definitely a detriment to the gaming industry. The focus being pulled away from single player games, maybe not so much, because there's more money going in. Yes, I'm nostalgic for those single player games, but it is what it is. People will continue to put out content, single player content, and I will continue to consume that. One thing that has been super controversial as of late has been the loot box system. Again, going back to one of the broken games we talked about, Star Wars Battlefront 2, where their basic model for multiplayer progression is pay to win. And like they've pissed off the internet, they've pissed off countries, like they're getting loot box systems banned in countries because, you know, honestly, EA got too money hungry, man. They got too money hungry. What do you think about the whole loot box situation that we've got going on now?
I think there's a right way of doing it and a wrong way of doing it, and definitely Battlefront 2 did it the wrong way. EA did it the wrong way. Overwatch, I like the way Overwatch does it. Like it's you can buy your new skins and stuff, but your skins have nothing to do with how you play. The same as PUBG. Now PUBG, they're getting a little crazy with how now you're getting crates that you have to get keys for, and you have to buy the keys, kind of like Rocket League. But really, to me, I enjoy the loot boxes just because, like, oh, every time I level up, I get a loot box. You know what I mean? But
right,
I do find it funny that some countries are banning. They're calling it gambling, but to me, that's a little goofy. But it's when I heard what Battlefront 2 did, I was like, I'm not buying the game. I will never play the game. I'll never buy it. I'm not going to be a part of that because that is bullshit.
No, I 100% agree with you. And I'm going to touch on this because I'm glad you said buy the game right there about the lock situation, because this goes back to something that's busting the gaming industry as a whole, and it ties in here. But guys, don't be like me and pre-order games. I think that pre-ordering is what is fucking up. Like, while people are shipping out these broken ass games, people pre-order it. They already have their fucking money. They can send out whatever the hell they want. You're not going to get a refund. And that's what happened to me with Star Wars. Like, I pre-ordered it. I was like, fuck yeah, let's go. It looks great. They're going to make some improvements. I'm super Star Wars nostalgic. And then they boned me with the loot boxes. And it hurt my soul, man. Like you said, Overwatch does a great job. Like, it's like, here are these cosmetic items that have nothing to do with how well you play the game. Battlefront 2 said, nope, what we're going to do is we're going to make your multiplayer, like how competitive you are in this game is determined by RNG and how much fucking money you spend on loot boxes, how much real money you spend on loot boxes, because it's going to take you a fucking millennia to grind up enough coins to buy loot boxes in game. They what they did is they took a free to play model like Clash of Clans, like on mobile, and they tried to implement it in a $60, like a full price fucking, you know, AAA game. And you can't do, like, you're too greedy, EA. Calm down, man. Like, it frustrates me to, like I said, like, it frustrates me to see EA take something, again, video games I love, Star Wars I love, and you just fuck it. Like, just what comes to mind is like that. I don't know if did you ever see the South Park episode where they're talking about Indiana Jones and the Crystal Skull? Like, basically, every time it comes up, it talks about like how Steven Spielberg and like, I can't remember the video production company, but every time it comes up about the new Indiana Jones movie, The Crystal Skull, it talks about like how bad Steven Spielberg is fucking you. And so it's like, at least take me to dinner first before you fuck me, Steven Spielberg. Like, and that's the way I feel about EA, man. Like, I bought the game, I bought into it. Stupid of me to pre-order. Don't pre-order games. But anyway, I just feel like you fucked me, EA. At least take me to dinner first. Like, at least whisper sweet nothings into my ear before you fuck me. Like, and they didn't. They just sent it in dry, and I'm not happy about it, man. And it's there's this huge fallout, man. There's all this fallout with these countries banning it. With, you know, Disney jumped all over their ass about it with the new release of the movie. It completely tainted this whole side of the industry that could be good and could be profitable, like Overwatch has. Like, if you keep it strictly cosmetic, you're totally good. It starts affecting gameplay, you are asking for trouble, man. It sucks.
Yeah, have you ever seen that? I'll link this in the description too. It's a pretty popular video. Have you ever seen whenever Boogie is playing Battlefront 2, and I guess it's like kind of like an arcade mode where you can get credits, and he got to where he had, like, he played not that he even played a lot, but he he finishes the game and he's waiting for his credits, and it says more credits available in 3 hours, and he fucking loses his shit, dude.
I love
It
Boogie.
is so funny. Yeah, he was like, I can't even remember exactly what he said, but he went off. And I'm going to link it down there, guys, if you haven't seen it, because it is priceless.
That's fucking great, man. No, it sucks. Like, and I think the biggest issue is like we paid for. I have no problem with one, the way that Overwatch does their loot box system if it's purely cosmetic. Two, if it's a free to play game, yeah, like give me like I'll give you $5 to farm this shit up quicker, because it's a free game. But you can't take that free to play model, put it in a AAA game, and sell it to people and expect them to be okay with it. Like that's not cool.
If you want to spend your money to, like, first of all, that's a fucking app. Like, dude, you just went down on, like, you just went below, and like scum of the earth went to iPhone app. All right, don't do that, EA. Don't do that. You're better than that. Like,
evidently not.
God, that's it's disappointing because I know a lot of people were ready for that game.
It is disappointing, and I think EA is another big perpetrator of it because I enjoyed Battlefield 1. Like I played a shit ton of Battlefield 1, and all like EA is a big perpetrator of it, and like even like some of my favorite franchises. Even though I fucking love the content they put out, like FromSoft, like with the Dark Souls, Bloodborne community, Gearbox with Borderlands, like. There's a huge emphasis on DLC now, which some games, like I said, Dark Souls was great. Like it's new content, it's outside of the normal, it adds to the story. But like especially with multiplayer games like map packs and bullshit like that, no, you had these maps drawn up when you released the game. You're just trying to get more money. And
yeah,
of course I'm gonna buy it because if I don't, I can't play with my friends. Like they're painting you into a corner. And like I said, there's some good instances of DLC. Like I said, and I think you can agree with me on this. Bloodborne's like Old Hunters DLC. Best content in the game. Borderlands 1 and 2, they're all their DLCs. Fucking best parts of the game. They're great. And they add hours of content on top of an already great game. They add to the story. It's it's not a necessary part of the story, but it's like a tangent, like it ties in. It's nice new content. I'm cool with DLC like that.
Well, it added.
Please stop adding like map packs. Stop that shit.
Well, they added that's a great example of like a good DLC because they added it on to something where like they saw that their game was doing good. If we look on the business side of it, they're like, all right, people love this game. Let's give them a little bit more.
Yeah.
Instead of here's a half-ass game, because you don't have to play the DLC to win, like to be, to win, and that's where like I think we respect that. And like, hell yeah, I want to make y'all a little bit more money. I'm going to buy the DLC, play another great part of this game.
Right. I'm 100% on board with that viewpoint of the DLC, but it's just when you start like. And like, guys, when you're getting fucked. Like, don't, like, map packs for Call of Duty, Battlefield 1, any of that shit. Like, the loot box stuff with, Star Wars Battlefront 2. Like, you know when it's going on. Like, we've got to stand together as a community and try to figure out how we can make this better. Because, like I said, I don't think this is going to die off, but we can all, like, you pressure them enough, like, it'll get better. It'll get better.
You're getting fucked whenever you open the game and the first thing you see is a season pass.
Yeah, season pass. Like I said, Call of Duty's world's worst for doing it. Like as soon as you fucking open multiplayer, it asks you to buy the season pass. But so last thing I want to touch on is like where is the gaming industry kind of headed? Like the one note that I have down here is VR gaming. Like, do you think that that's gonna innovate or pull us out of kind of the rut that we're in right now, or you think it's just kind of a fad?
Probably a little bit of both, and I know that sounds weird, but I don't think it's going to have anything to do with competitive. I think it's there's too many big guys like me out there that's like, fuck that, I ain't running around to shoot somebody. Like, but you never know. Like, in my eyes, what I see, it's going to be more of like a virtual reality.
Yeah.
You're going to have game, like right now, that VR chat, like that's probably where VR is going to go, to where it's more of almost like kind of like, I don't know why this pops into my head, but like a Sims in a way, to where like you make a house, you know, does that make sense? Like a Second Life.
No, it 100%. Like, I do not see VR, at least in the near future. I don't see VR gaming catching on whatsoever. I know like there was a huge deal about like Oculus Rift a couple years ago, but I don't see that style of game catching on. Like, the technology is just not there yet. Like,
No.
it's a cool gimmick. Like, it's just like the Switch and the Wii U and the Wii, like the motion controls and like how you can, like, that's all gimmicky shit that you can sell more product with. But it's not like, I don't know many games that I've heard people say, oh man, you know what you need to play in fucking VR? This game. Like, no, nobody ever says that. Just play on your PC.
Well,
like,
what brings to my, like, again, another thing that brings to my mind is like just the Wii and how that was like kind of like almost the first taste of VR, because you had to stand up, you had to, you know.
Yeah.
Does that make sense? Like, you had to. Yeah. And that got old real quick. People are like, fuck this, I don't want to stand up by the sensor, you know. So like that's where it throws me off, and it's a little like, I'd love to do a VR someday, like have a game to play, but I would never. I don't think it's going to take over anything at all, honestly.
I would, and the technology is not there. Something I would love to see, like, and I think, and I'm going to go off like on off in the wild blue yonder on this tangent, but like I think that the future of gaming could be VR, but I think that it's way in the future. Like, I think that it's going to be something like, I can't even think of an example, but I think it's going to have to be self-contained consoles, like on somebody's back, where you're like, say you're on a paintball field where you're running around, like actually with, you know, a simulated gun, simulated armor, whatever on, and you're actually running around in this like field or this huge open area, but you're being projected onto a game field. Like, I think that's what's going to be, and this is way down the line. This is what I would like to see, anyways.
That'd be dope, dude.
Where it's like and you could do it with augmented reality. So like, if you know what like AR is, like Pokemon Go, where you actually walk around and like you can see your real background and you throw Pokeballs at it. Mm-hmm. Like that's like, I think AR is going to be something that's going to be huge in the future as well. And I think that's something that could save the gaming industry. The more you try to break through that fourth wall where it's not a game anymore, but it's kind of part of your life, I think that's what's gonna save us. Besides, you know, stop fucking us with DLC and like broken ass games. I think that AR, VR could be the future, but I think it's way down the line. I think it's a very interesting way. I'm trying to think of like an example, like in a movie or something that I can kind of explain what kind of VR that I'm thinking. I'm not talking about like sitting in your living room, like walking around.
No,
like swatting butterflies.
X-Men 3, whenever they're in that room at the very beginning of the movie, and they're training people to. That's the first thing that popped in my head is whenever like Wolverine's training like the newbies, and it's basically the whole place is like a green screen, and like objects come out like for a certain game. Like, that's what pops in my head. If you ever seen that movie.
I 100% like, and I watch a lot of Star Trek. I've been watching a lot of Star Trek lately too. Like, I think this is again way down the line, way over exaggerated, but you could have an augmented reality, kind of like a holodeck, if you're a Star Trek fan, where like images are generated that you can interact with in front of you, whether that be through a visor and like a set of gloves, or it's actually projected in the room that you're in. But I think the VR and AR have like promise, but I think we're way far down the line from seeing anything like that and seeing anything like groundbreaking in gaming. It's just going to be, you know, higher resolutions, higher frame rates, higher computing powers, you know, stop sending out broken games, stop charging us a shit ton for DLCs, and, you know, give me back the thing that I love, single player campaigns. That's what I want to see.
I'd love to see some more AR, because I kind of fell off the train of Pokemon Go, but I'd love to see something new like that.
It's super cool. Like, and I know. So we had like the AR with Pokemon Go. One of my favorite bands, like Run the Jewels hip hop group. Check them out, guys. Fucking love them. Killer Mike LP, awesome. But they actually had a AR app you could download, and anytime, and it was just with their album cover and like T-shirts and a couple of other things. But, like, you could like show your phone across like they have like a beer that they had released with a brewery in New York. But you could like put your phone on the beer can, and like somebody would pop out of the top of the beer can and like start dancing or some shit. Like,
oh, that's awesome.
Yeah,
19
it was really
Crimes
cool.
Wine has that too.
Oh, really? I didn't know that.
Yeah, there's like this little app, and like 19 Crimes has like like it'll have some old prisoner on there, right? And
Oh, shit.
you can put your phone over it, and he'll start like telling his story.
I did not know. See, like things like that, like that's awesome. If you could take that in, like, even if it's just like a scavenger hunt or like geocaching, where you're out in the woods and like you scan a particular, barcode or like, something, or like sensor in the woods, like your phone gets close enough to it. Like something would pop up and be like, all right, here's your next clue, or like some shit like that. I think that augmented reality, even more than than VR, I think that the closer you get to making those games like real and shattering that fourth wall, like I think that's the future of where gaming's headed. And it would be really, really cool to see shit like that. Like you said, with 19 Crimes Wine, Run the Jewels, like the Pokemon Go phenomenon, where you can like see your little Pokemon and running around on the fucking sidewalk. Like that's that's really, really cool stuff. And I think that's where we need to head. Like the industry needs to head.
Agreed.
Well, if you got anything else for us, you feeling pretty good about the talk today?
Hey, this is another good one, man. We're killing it.
Dude, I'm digging it. I had a good time today. So let the people know where they can find you, man.
Guys, listen closely, listen clearly. You can come find me on YouTube, Twitch, and Twitter at FatxShack. Stream schedule is up. Going to be streaming every other day, Tuesday, Thursday, and all the time during the weekend, Saturday and Sunday. YouTube videos are going to be here and there, but for the most part, all my updates come from Twitter. Darth, where can we find you, buddy?
You guys can find me on Twitter, YouTube, and Twitch at Darth_whoopass. I've been taking a little break lately, but expect regular streams back probably in the next week or so. So check me out there. Check Shaq out at his lovely websites. If you love our charming personalities, and show us a little bit of love, man. Hit the like button, subscribe if you guys digging what we're doing. And I fucking enjoy doing these things, man. It's been a lot of fun.
Oh yeah. I always feel better after it. I just feel like a 20 pounds lighter.
I do too, man. It's nice to rant every once in a while.
Oh yeah.
All right, guys. Well, we will see you next time.
As always, guys, stay tilted.